We are C Cinema, and today we'd like to try a different format. Movie Standoff, where we take two films that have a certain connection and analyze them side by side. One of the films is The Cable Guy, the other is The Truman Show. Without further ado, let's get to it. The first connection is fairly simple. Jim Carrey is the protagonist of both films. Nonetheless, at first glance, Truman and Chip seem to be very different from the other. While Truman is the ideal man with the perfect life, family, and job, Chip has shady intentions and is the creepiest guy on earth. Despite the exterior differences, they share curious similarities. Truman is trapped in The Truman Show. He is trapped in the TV program, and is ubiquitous, being in every TV of every house in the world. Chip is also ubiquitous, but in a different way. Chip's character embodies aspects of the two most important characters of The Truman Show. One, of course, is Truman. Both Chip and Truman have a constant presence in the film. In Truman's case, that's due to the film's plot. He is the main character in the TV show, so we are bound to follow him everywhere. In Chip's case, his obtrusive and constant appearances are, besides being a gag, an indication of his somewhat godlike powers. As Chip is able to appear at any time, at any moment, to make Steven's life miserable. The previous idea, the godlike powers of Chip, are a clear similarity between him and the other most important character of The Truman Show, Christoph. Christoph is the creator and director of Truman Show. He can decide whether people live, die, or resurrect. He is the owner of all the cameras and images of that world. Chip is extremely alike. He is the owner of all the channels. He has the control remote both physically and metaphorically. Like Christoph, Chip is a director inside the film, as he can choose the lighting of the scene, the music, and even the destiny of his delusion's main character, Steven. Moreover, both Christoph and Chip have an army of people at their command. In Christoph's case, he has the actors and technicians following his instructions to control Truman's life. Similarly, Chip has lots and lots of preferred customers, as he calls them, who help him making Steven's life miserable. Both The Truman Show and The Cable Guy have a powerful, godlike director of sorts in Christoph and Chip. They both act similarly when helping or torturing Truman and Steven. At first, Christoph presents a perfect world in Sea Haven, only to be this close to kill Truman by the end of the film. Chip does the same. Despite being a ridiculous character, he succeeds in helping Steven triumph in his life. But once Steven tries to escape Chip's hold on him, everything gets upside down. If at first Chip fills Steven's living room with expensive furniture, then he'll report it as stolen. Or when Chip hooks Steven up with a working girl, only to later leave him at the mercy of the jail's prisoners.
Don't do that, Jesus Christ, you're gonna get me killed! Out of here!
Unlike Truman, who is a representation of the perfect guy, Steven is an uneventful, ordinary Joe. He never decides anything. The people around him conduct his life for him. He has no say in his separation, he asks for free cable due to his friend's insistence, and uses Chip's tactic of playing Sleepless in Seattle to win his girlfriend over.
Women are suckers for Sleepless in Seattle.
As we said in previous videos, in filmmaking, casting is a powerful, often overlooked tool that can help the viewer identify certain characteristics of the characters. Matthew Broderick's vulnerable and innocent look suits Steven's attributes perfectly. Following another train of thought, in spite of being satirical comedies, both films have varied ways of developing comedic situations. In The Cable Guy, we can see two comedic strategies. One is the outrageous situations Chip puts Steven through, as we laugh wondering what's Chip's next idea to make Steven's life impossible. The other is a reliance on using Jim Carrey's persona, his jokes, silly faces, or his nutty behavior. This decision is based on taking advantage of Carrey's history and expertise on sketch comedy. We believe that the former strategy can be traced to the director of The Cable Guy. Ben Stiller, the director of the film, is a well-known comedian and an expert of one-man show comedy. It's only natural that on his first approach to directing comedy, he decided to move on familiar ground. Going back to The Truman Show, director Peter Weir took a different approach to make comedy and to present the Jim Carrey character. Here, there's no reliance on his usual funny faces or eccentric behavior. Instead, Weir uses the high-concept plot of the film to make comedy. Truman's unawareness that his life is nothing but a TV show prompts most of the comedic moments. For instance, when it only rains in the place he's standing, his wife and friends doing shameless product placement, or the abundance of extras that roadblock Truman every time he's about to go off the path laid by Christoph. Peter Weir's directorial decisions are truly remarkable. At the beginning of the film, he establishes the peculiar plot by making the audience ask themselves several questions that are crucial to the story. When a terrified Truman is unable to get in the boat, we ask ourselves, why is he so afraid of water? The movie has no answer yet. Something similar happens a few scenes before, when we see Truman ripping the women's pictures from the magazines. We ask, why is this perfect guy doing that while hiding? As happened before, there's no answer just yet. The lack of answers to these questions keeps the audience intrigued and involved. What's curious is that, when we finally get an answer to the questions, Weir avoids a simple revelation. Instead, he uses the show's peculiar characteristics to answer the first question, and a specific filmmaking technique to give a clue about the second one. To explain Truman's fear, Weir uses a somewhat soapy way of explaining things, a flashback. Weir takes advantage of the show's soap opera style to use a soap opera technique without making the flashback too obvious or forced. There's a flashback because in that show, the creators are fond of such narrative decisions. For example,
how do you intend to explain his 22-year absence?
Amnesia.
Brilliant.
On the other hand, Weir uses a filmmaking technique to give the audience a clue on why Truman is ripping the women's faces off the magazines. At first, we see Truman especially concerned about the woman's eyes when tearing the pictures. Here, Weir is telling us that we should pay special attention to eyes. So, when introducing Sylvia, Truman's forbidden love, Weir specifically shots this close-up of her eyes in the middle of their conversation. Here, Weir is telling us that the eyes that Truman is looking for are the very eyes he and the viewer are seeing in this specific shot. Also, we'd like to note another excellent casting choice, as actress Natasha McElhoney's lovely eyes helps us understand Truman's fixation. At the end of the movie, we learn he needed the picture size to finish his collage of Sylvia, to finally answer the question introduced at the beginning. The appearance of this collage serves as a genius counterpoint to the film's main theme. While Truman's face has been seen by everyone in the world, shot by thousands of cameras in high definition, Truman's interest is in fact placed on the exact opposite. He is interested in a face that's been seen only by him. It hasn't been taken by the cameras, and it isn't HD, but an amateurish collage. Okay, to sum up, both The Truman Show, released in 1998, and The Cable Guy from 1996 share intriguing similarities, as if Ben Stiller's film would have anticipated many aspects of Weir's film. What's even more remarkable is that Weir's 1979 film, The Plumber, has a plot on the same note as The Cable Guy, to further strengthen the connections of the mentioned films. Finally, both The Truman Show and The Cable Guy share a similar ending. In both films, everyone is dead silent in front of the TV watching Truman's escape and Stiller's trial resolution. Furthermore, in Weir's film, we witness the physical rain invoked by Christoph, and in Stiller's film, we watch the metaphorical rain, snow, or white noise in the TVs caused by Chip's actions. At the end, both rains finally set free Steven and Truman from the watchful eye of Chip and Christoph. Well, that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed this movie standoff. Please tell us in the comments if you like this new format. Thanks for watching, see you next time on Say Cinema.
If you like the video, please comment, like and subscribe.